Today's video is a little bit special because we are going to talk about a research paper from the Philippines. As a traditional firearms creator, I have shared a lot of history, culture, and the unique regional firearm traditions with you in the past. However, we always based those stories on existing very old firearm collections rather than academic studies from universities or institutions. To be honest, I should have read this paper much earlier. My friend actually uploaded it to the Facebook group a few months ago, and I did see it back then, but you know how it is, with so many everyday tasks and the travel scenes piling up. I just couldn't find the time to sit down and study it. That was until last month, when I set up OpenClaw at home. I finally have an assistant now, or you could see my first employee. Mind you, it is just a silicon-based employee, but it works incredibly hard and never needs a day off. Even though my own spare time haven't magically increased, this AI agent has generally helped me get more done by working alongside me. Since I've only been using it for less than a month, I am still figuring out how to make the most of it and how we can best team up. Because of that, I'm a bit worried that the summary it prepares for me has contain a few errors. If you spot any mistakes, please feel free to point them out in the comments. Let's work together to train OpenClaw into a truly professional firearm research helper. Speaking of which, this doesn't mean that this video is entirely generated by AI. My AI agent was strictly a helper, only assisting me with searching for information and summarizing the paper. So don't worry, this video and all future ones will follow our same old recipe, grabbed by the hands of a real carbon-based human being. So, what is the story behind this research paper? Let's get started. Honestly, when I first came across this paper, I could tell it held a massive amount of information. In the end, I decided to break it down into 3 parts. The main finding of the research paper, what happened to the 3 shipwrecks regarding the firearms, and the historical background of both the guns and the ships. So today, let's take a look at what this paper covers first. It's really all about our main characters' 7 handguns that have been lying at the bottom of the Philippine seas as sleep for over 500 years. Naturally, this makes me curious. Where did they come from? When were they made? And were they ever actually fired? According to the paper, these questions were tackled by a team of archaeologists from the Maritime and Underwater Cultural Heritage Division of the National Museum of the Philippines and the Schools of Archaeology at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. This study is published in 2024 and is titled Preliminary Analysis of the Early Handheld Guns Recovered from Shipwrecks plying the seas of the pre-colonial Philippines from about the year 1400 to 1600. Right from the start, the subjects of the study are very clear. There are 7 handguns in total, cataloged from HHG 001 through HHG 007, all recovered from 3 different shipwrecks in Philippines waters. Speaking of which, I imagine you might be just like me, very curious about what kind of ships these 3 shipwrecks actually were. Was it Western sailing ships, or was they ships with those highly iconic Eastern-style sails? Don't worry, I want to know what happened just as much as you do. So we will dive into that story in part 2 of this video. For now, let's keep our focus on these 7 special firearms. Simply put, the researchers wanted to answer 2 main questions. First, what did these 7 guns look like? and how can we classify them by their shape? Second, using scientific methods, can we tell whether they were actually used? To find out, the researchers used a special piece of equipment, PXRF, also known as a portable X-ray fluorescence spectrometer. Although we can see from the photos that the shapes of these firearms are quite different, the researchers didn't classify them purely by appearance. Perhaps because of their professional background, they preferred a more rigorous and rule-based approach. In the end, they divided the 7 guns into 2 distinct groups based on their use case. Group 1 consists of close-range guns, which includes 3 pieces: HHG-001, 002, and 003. They share several distinct features: short, thick barrels with raised reinforcing bands, spherical branches, and flared muzzles. The paper notes that this flare design was typical of the 7th and 5th centuries. Think of the classic blunderbuss or early darting firing guns. Group 2 is the long-range group, which includes 4 pieces, HHG-004 through 007. The group is quite the opposite. They feature slender, tapered barrels with no obvious referring bands and no flared muzzles. All of these features point to a single purpose. They were designed to fire a single shot at a distance. So now, let's get a closer look and see what each individual gun looks like. Let's start with the closed range group. HHG-001 was recovered from the Pentagon Shipwreck. It has a total length of 27.1 centimeters and a bore of 2.37 centimeters, making it the shortest of the 7. The flared muzzle points outward, allowing the propellant gas to disperse as it leaves. Even after several shots, this design still manages to provide a decent aim. HHG-002 came from the Orillaneda Shipwreck with a total length of 33.3 centimeters and a bore of 2.51 centimeters. The most eye-catching detail here is at the rear, where there is an extra lock, a protruding handle. What was it for? The paper offers a very practical explanation. This gun was also fixed with a lock or handle to add ease in holding and or aiming target. HHG-003 was also found at Orillaneda with a total length of 35.4 centimeters and a bore of 3.26 centimeters, giving it the largest bore in this first group. Its flared muzzle is narrower than the previous 2, which means it likely had a slightly longer effective range. Now, let's move on to Group 2, the long-range category. HHG-004 was recovered from the Orillaneda Shipwreck with a total length of 61.1 centimeters and a bore of 2.33 centimeters. The barrel features a classic taper, narrowing from a maximum outer diameter of 3.7 cm down to 3.1 cm. The touch hole is located 19.7 cm from the rear. The wooden stock is still attached to back end. Based on this, it's highly likely that this gun wasn't mounted on a heavy wooden frame. Instead, it was generally handheld and fired from the shoulder. HHG-005 was also from Orillaneda with a total length of 39.1 centimeters and a tiny bore of just 1.31 centimeters, making it the smallest caliber of the 7. HHG-006 came from the Santa Cruz Shipwreck. It has a total length of 64.8 centimeters, making it the longest of the 7, with a bore of 2.08 centimeters. HHG-007 was found at Orillaneda. It features a total length of 30.7 centimeters and a bore of 2.78 centimeters. This one is the heaviest of the entire lot. Its battery wall reaches a thickness of 1.71 centimeters, from which we can infer it was engineered to handle much larger gunpowder charges. To wrap up this first part, let's bring all the data together. We can see that across these 7 guns, the lenses range from 27.1 centimeters to 64.8 centimeters, and the bolts vary from 1.31 centimeters to 3.26 centimeters. The 3 close-range models were likely scatterguns, while the 4 long-range ones were single-shot weapons built for hitting targets further away. These 7 firearms scattered across 3 shipwrecks, span a history of more than 100 years. In the next part, we will dive into what actually happened to those 3 ships. So, thank you for watching, take care, stay safe, and I will see you next time.